actually said the title of this series. I probably won't say it again. It sounds weird. But it's early and I am in traffic. Not really heavy traffic. Let's put it this way. Not really heavy traffic, but traffic nonetheless. It says that today the ride will be 54 minutes. So that's probably not real traffic, even though the distance is about a 30-minute drive without traffic, so that's still traffic. It's not an hour and 30 like it was yesterday. So that is promising. I'm not sure why or what the change up has become, but I am accepting of it and I am going to take the smooth ride to school. I meant to say that over the weekend, in addition to doing hair and my wrists and fingers getting cramped up, I also found a very great YouTube channel. Her name is Brittany Alexis. And I mean, I combed through her channel and she's not teaching on everything, but I realized that the week before I got to cosmetology school, they covered cutting, and that's really something I want to specialize in. Cutting and coloring are like the two top things on my list, and because they went over it the week before I got there, I'm not sure when they will go over it again, because it's an open enrollment program, so you kind of just drop in and you fit in where they are. They don't start back from chapter 1 because you showed up. So they will cover all the things within the 7 months I'm there, but I don't know when they'll get back to cutting. So I just wanted to kind of get my feet wet with, you know, kind of learning what she probably already taught. And I found this YouTube channel, Brittany Alexis, and she is she teaches cosmetology students, and she is a cosmetologist, and she teaches from the book. And she also teaches based on what you might be tested on at the state board exam. Now, for me personally, I do not have to do the practical test in California. I'm not sure if other states still do that. And some people might think that's crazy. Like, you don't have to do the practical. You don't have to show anyone that you know how to do hair. You just got to take a written test and then go on. So I can understand how that may be jarring, especially for the cosmetologists and teachers and students who had to pass the test. A lot of people, especially in California, are kind of upset about that. I actually did a few interviews at different schools before I chose this one ultimately, and one of them, the lady was on the phone pretty much before I decided. I didn't end up going in. I really did more like a phone interview, just to kind of ask questions and get to know her and the program. And she was on the phone talking shit. Like, she was like, I can't believe y'all ain't gotta take the practical. This is easy for y'all, and people still failing. She was like, y'all kids these days got it so easy, and you still ain't up to nothing good. I was just like, wow, you are salty about that. And I get it how you do something and you have to work so hard for it, and then somebody else comes behind you, and the laws have changed, the rules have changed, society has changed. But I always go back to the idea of whether I show you how to cut or not, yes, that would ensure that maybe I would be more successful in the real world. But also, if I'm not good, no one is gonna book me. So I have to get good at it somehow. And that's just what it boils down to. If I butcher someone's haircut, I'm not gonna make money. So although the practical test would be great, I'm sure they don't want to find a location for you to take that test. I'm sure they don't want to pay staff people to facilitate those tests. I'm sure they don't want all those things because they're always trying to find a way to save money. All of us are always trying to find a way to save money. So, but I found that page to be very helpful because she goes over cutting according to the state board exam as closely as you can go. She has the book out. She's telling you what page it's on, and I love things like that. And so with her, not we, because I wasn't in her class, but she went over a 90-degree cut. She went over a 0-degree cut, a 45-degree cut, a 90-degree cut, 135, and a 180. She went over where to hold the hair, whether you're holding it out, to cut along your comb. She shows you the type of hair cutting comb you should use that has like the ruler on it. She shows proper care for your shears, she gave some suggestions on like a blade lube to take care of your shears to keep them healthy, proper cleanliness for those. She talks about how to hold your shears so that you never put them down, because every time you put them down, you are ultimately interrupting the sanitation of the shears that you have. If you put them on a dirty surface, or if you drop your scissors, like, you should always have something, a second pair, or be ready to clean them thoroughly, because you just dropped scissors on the floor and now people are walking with their sneakers on the floor and you're about to put those scissors back on the back of somebody's neck. So she went over that. I thought all of that was very, very helpful. And she talked about where you're cutting with the scissors. In the beginning, you're cutting along the edges, and then you start to use the belly of the scissors. So I think just watching those videos, and I feel like those are videos I'll need to watch over and over and over and over and over again. But I feel like just watching them a couple of times each, and they're like 20-30 minute videos, was extremely helpful for just starting to understand the basics of cutting and angles. She went over how to cut an angle bob, how to cut a blunt bob, how to just do a basic trim. So little things like that, those tend to be the popular looks people come in for. So that was very, very helpful, and I wanted to share that. I'll link her video in the description so that if anybody wants to learn what I did, you can. So today we are doing manicures again. I'm not sure what kind of manicure. I'm gonna take a snapshot of the calendar today with my meta glasses once I get a chance, just to give you guys a look of how they have the calendar set up for this month. Of course, this month is a holiday month, so people are kind of checked out. I think I'm checked out. I think mentally I'm checked out a bit. Not as in I'm not trying to learn, but I just feel like I'm moving slower after publishing my children's book, and then I just sent a screenplay to producers on Monday. Released the book on Saturday, turned in a script on Monday. I just feel tired of trying to do things, and also trying to remind myself that I'm in school and that I should put 100% of my focus into this. And now that I'm done with the screenplay, my son's book is out, and now I'm just marketing and sending emails and trying to get visibility for it. I feel like I need to slow down and just focus on school and rest. And yesterday when I came home, I took a nap. I usually don't take naps. I'm not a big napper. I don't believe in naps. And I won't say I don't believe in naps, because I do. I do feel like sometimes you just need to rest. But I'd rather just go to sleep at night when I need to go to sleep, and try to make my daytime hours as productive as possible. But I needed that nap. And then my son is teething. He's got the molars coming in, the big ones. I just want to talk about how people speak about teething as if it's this singular thing. And your baby is teething like a lot. It happens a lot. A lot. So much. There are so many teeth that need to come in. And sometimes two will come in at once and you're lucky. You just knock them out. But sometimes that is not what is happening. And from the moment they're about 5-6 months old until they're 22-24 months old, till they're like 2 years old, they are teething at random. It's horrific. And it only gets worse because when the little teeth come in, they're fussy, they're upset, they're not enjoying that experience. But those aren't even the worst. The molars come in, those big ones in the back, and it's like dreadful. So my baby woke me up at 3 in the morning crying, unfortunately, in pain. And I'm just glad I don't remember teething. I just feel so bad for him. And then I can see his gums are a little red, and I'm just like, I know you're in so much pain. And then to think that these teeth are gonna fall out and then more teeth are gonna come in. Why? What is the point? So yes, I did not get as much sleep as I would have wanted last night. So I feel like I'm gonna have a similar day today to yesterday, which is a little bit sluggish. I know it doesn't feel like I'm sluggish now. I have energy right now. I just ate breakfast. I'm up, but I can feel it in my eyes. My eyes feel relaxed. And as soon as I get in class and sit down and get comfortable and get a book open and it's nice and cool, and that's when you start to sink into your chair, and then you just get tired and then you're falling asleep. So this week is just trying to stay awake, just trying to stay alive, and we'll see how today goes. But that is my morning story time. I am going to get back on the road, get back to being focused on the road, and yeah, I'll let you know how the day goes. Peace. It is day 8, week 3 of cosmetology school. I have a bit of a headache right now. I don't think I drank quite enough water today, so I'm gonna have to catch up on that. I have an appointment today at 3:30, which is not ideal. I'm trying to decide if I want to be doing hair after class, because yesterday I needed that nap, and so today I'm asking myself, class is only 9 to 1, but because I have to leave the house at 7:30 in the morning and I'm in traffic, it feels like my day is longer than it actually is, because then I have to wake up at 6 a.m., sometimes 5:30. And just traveling is exhausting. People don't talk about how traveling is exhausting. Traffic is exhausting. You got to drive over an hour to work, school. It's exhausting. And then you got to drive like an hour back. It's exhausting. But today was very productive for me. Today in class we went over nail tip blending, which is pretty much, you know, when you put on tips and you're putting on acrylic or gel to blend the tip to the nail. So we went over that in depth today, and we did some practicing in class. But since I do not have my kits, I was not able to perform that service. Unfortunately, the school doesn't seem to have an abundance of supplies outside of your kit. They do have supplies in certain things, like if I need a blow dryer or a flat iron or a mannequin, they have some of those things. But some of the more specific things I wish they had, so that students could work if they don't have their kit. I understand you don't want to release kits until financial aid is dispersed fully or whatever the case may be, but having something that students can use, and like I said, every school is different, so I am speaking from the perspective of my school, which is not, it's not your Paul Mitchell, you know, it's not that school. So maybe at Paul Mitchell, because it costs you $20,000-$30,000 a year, or for the program, you're gonna get what you paid for, which is a lot of supplies and a lot of things. But with my program, I'm not gonna say it's like a low budget program, but it is not like, if this was the film world, it would be an indie film. But it is certified. It is certified with the board. It has all the certifications. The school has all the accreditations. That's what I wanted to say. That's one thing that I did not skimp out on, making sure that whatever school I went to had all the accreditations. And this school does have all of those things. But when you're not at a top program, you miss out on certain things. So today, instead of putting on nail tips because I didn't have them, I focused on my mannequin, and I went through shampooing her hair. Her name is Mary. I went through shampooing Mary's hair. I was listening to a Mary song, Be Happy, while I was doing her hair, so I was like, she's Mary. She's Mary J. But I shampooed her hair, blow dried it, shampoo, conditioned at the bowl, blow dried it with the brush. I don't know what kind of brush that's called, but I was practicing the blow drying that way. I gotta figure out what that brush is called. And then once her hair was blow dried straight, I was like, let's give her a trim. Because I told you that I had been studying Brittany Alexis's videos on YouTube, and I gave her what I call a black girl trim, which is where you are only cutting what is necessary. Black women do not like getting their hair cut unless they want their hair cut. Other than that, don't cut off my inches. I work too hard for these inches. Keep it all there. So I focused on trimming just the dead ends, the scraggly ends, and giving it a clean look. And then tomorrow I'll probably be doing nails. We're focusing on pedicures tomorrow, so I'll probably do pedicures, and then I'll go in and flat iron her hair and just straighten it to try to get it bone straight. So this is my attempt at a silk press. We've already, it's not as silk pressy, I would say, because her hair wasn't curly to start. So I do have a kinky hair mannequin, and I want to try it on that one as well, trying to get her hair bone straight. But for the purpose of just shampooing, blow drying, and then getting it to be bone silky straight. I'm gonna focus on that tomorrow. But yeah, that was the gist of the day. We went back into disease control, infection spread control, just making sure that we're disinfecting everything. So she's not playing about that. That is something that we have been discussing in depth the past couple of days, even more so than before. So she's hammering down on disease control and disinfecting all our tools and making sure everything is clean and not cross-contaminating any of our tools. So we went over that again today. It seems like that's become like the topic of every single day's discussion: disinfecting and disease control, cross-contaminations, all those things. So I'm glad to know that they're taking that seriously and that is important. And that was the gist of today. So we will see how tomorrow goes. Hopefully I'm able to plug in clips, because I did use my Meta glasses today, so I have plenty of footage to just show you what my day was like and what I focused on. And that's it. Until tomorrow.